once began as a test for man has turned into a fury of pulling power. From air-launching monster trucks to the quest for speed and time, the unlimited matching of wheels and motors has sent us spinning into the world of wheel power. Power-packed motorsports. It's the excitement of power that puts man on the edge and the quest for victory that takes him over. Hildreth, Nebraska, a small town with a population of only 390, but it is a mecca for tens of thousands of pulling fans. Once a year, Hildreth hosts the Great Plains event on the Copenhagen Skoal Pulling Circuit. It's the granddaddy of Nebraska pulls from the heartland of America, the Budweiser Pepsi Grand National Tractor Pull. Every class of pulling machine is here, from the 7500 Super Stocks to the 9200 Super Modified Pulling Rails, four-wheel drive trucks, two-wheel drive trucks, and the 9500 Super Stock. More pure horsepower than any single pulling event in the world. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Coming up next, the 9,500-pound Super Stock class. This will be a good one. The monsters of truck and tractor pulling, the 9,500-pound Super Stock class. This is the big one. Tractor pulling fans have come from all over to see these monsters go to work. Power Pack Motorsports is proud to bring you some of the best in tractor pulling on the NTPA circuit. Starting off the 9,500-pound Super Stock class, this is a guy that's been here at Hildreth before and been all over the Midwest. Rob Russell out of Prescott, Iowa, in the 7120 Magnum, the Workhorse Magnum. Getting the Workhorse ready to go and ready to gallop right now in the Super Stock class. Rob Russell, Prescott, Iowa. Another great puller from the next door neighbor state of Nebraska, Iowa. Getting ready to go, Rob Russell. And away he goes, pulling the thumb number 9, Robbie Russell. And the mark to beat, set by the Workhorse Magnum of Rob Russell, 271 feet and 4 inches. Rob, a nice pull that time, but you seem to handle the track pretty well.
Not too bad. The boat's plenty heavy, and I guess we'll take that run for today.
All righty. Good luck to you. Pulling up next is the Red Baron, Stockport, Iowa puller, John Klug, International Harvester, 3688. And the mark to beat, set by the Workhorse Magnum of Rob Russell, 271 feet and 4 inches. John Klug going to give it a try next here in our Super Stock class. The Red Baron, International Harvester. Getting to work on the turbos right quick. The light smoke's going to turn to black. The smoker is on the way. John Klug. The Red Baron takes control right there. The new leader in the class. 278 feet 4 inches for John Klug, the Red Baron. John Klug, that was a nice ride right there. You put yourself in first place at the time being. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the ride?
Oh, I think it's going to get better as it goes because I was still too heavy on the front and it just didn't get a good pickup and lift on it. But there's it ain't going to stay. There'll be ones that's going to take it away. I'd like to pull near the end.
Ernie Conner is up next out of Green City, Missouri. Bad Medicine. It's a white John Deere 4255. And Ernie Conner is going to see what John Deere can do for him and try to set the new distance. Of course, looking for a full pull.
He's looking at a distance of 278 feet 4 inches.
Ernie Conner set to go right here. The pride of the Show Me State going to take that white John Deere right down the center of the track. Bad Medicine going to be close to push the distance of the Red Baron. The distance, 279 feet, 1 inch. He's the new leader in the super stock class. Nice run right there. How'd the old John Deere work?
Oh, pretty good. She's a pretty good ride. She's a brand new tractor, and it's all alcohol burn, built it all herself, and we just love it.
Well, it's this is the first opportunity you've had to run this Bad Medicine?
On Grand National, this is the first Grand National hook we made with it.
Ernie Conner in Bad Medicine has taken over the lead by less than a foot. His new mark, 279 feet, 1 inch. Looking up next, a guy that's been all over the circuit, the Rooster. This is Danny Dean out of South Charleston, Ohio. International, 1066, and a checkered flag out there marking the distance. He could push that 11 Grand National titles, and he's going to power it up right now and try to set the new mark here in this class. The Rooster, beautiful International Harvester, and he's set to go as the smoker takes off. Here he comes, the Rooster. Danny Dean. Well, Danny Dean, 277 and 3 is the mark right there. Tell us a little bit about the ride down the track.
Well, the track's a little hard today, so I run her just a little lighter on the front, trying to get the front end up and get a better hold of the track. I had to use the brakes a couple times. That might have hurt me, but that's one of those things. If you want to move into the lead, you got to get the front end up on a track like this.
Next up, John Deere, 4010 with 3 turbos. Out of Milton, Indiana, up and at him. Neil Gittner. John Deere 4010, 3 turbos. Gonna try her this time. Again, the distance to beat, 279 and 1. Here he goes, John Deere, pulling power, up and at him. Neil Gittner. Neil Gittner up and at him. Neil Gittner's distance, 277 feet, 1 inch. He's 2 feet behind the leader, but that's good enough for third. He's right behind Danny Dean. The super stock class, very competitive here at Hildreth.
Now, the #1 point standing tractor in the land today.
Next up, Edson Lane out of Dayton, Minnesota. Red line favor, International Harvester, 1486. Edson Lane getting her cranked up and ready to go. Again, the distance, very competitive super stock field. 279 to 1. Edson Lane and Red Line Fever. The Red Line Fever, Edson Lane right there. A pull for Edson Lane, 278 feet and 1 inch. Not quite good enough for the first spot, but it's out there quite a ways.
Yes, it's out there quite a ways. We got a brand new motor in the tractor, and we ain't got her quite dialed in like the old motor was.
But it's still a good run. How is this track here at Hildreth?
Oh, it's hooking up pretty good. We thought we could maybe run a little faster here, but we changed our mind, and a good thing we did.
Randy Herbert's up next. High Plains Raider, an international, an IH 3688. Out of Ravenna, Nebraska. Another Cornhusker puller. Randy Herbert. 279 feet 1, the distance to beat. Working on it, working on it. Got the black smoke, and we are ready to go. Randy Herbert, Nebraska boy. Oh, this light as he comes down. Well, the High Plains Raider giving it his all he can do, and it's going to fall just a little bit short, but he came through at about the 150 mark with a pretty straight line. Swerved a little bit and then ends up close to 250. Next up for Lyle Hull pulling team, the M&M pulling team, is Craig Peterson out of Zion, Illinois. Go to Minneapolis Moline G1000 Vista. It's an alcohol burner, and it's a nice looking tractor. It's bright yellow. Out of Minneapolis Moline. Right here, Minneapolis Moline, Lyle Hull out of Waupun, Wisconsin. Look at that big yellow tractor fly. He could set the new mark. Oh, that big Minneapolis Moline G1000 Vista, Lyle Hull, Waupun, Wisconsin. Our new leader is Lyle Hull, and Lyle 280 feet 8 inches. inches. Tell us about the ride.
It's a good one. It's been a long time coming. This is 10 hooks in a row. We haven't made a full pass. I am really happy.
Let's tell us a little bit about this Minneapolis tractor you're sitting on right here. A lot of people probably aren't familiar with the big yellow.
Well, yeah, they haven't made them since '72, so we're running something that, you know, not hardly anybody else is, but there's a lot of strength in the engine. That's why we run it. There's a lot of cubic inch there. Now, we run on alcohol, which obviously there's only, I think, one other tractor on it, but I guess it looks like alcohol's doing okay here today.
Sure is. Congratulations, Lyle Hull, 280 feet, 8 inches. New leader in the super stock class. Next up, Red Thunder. Steve Legrave out of Ackerley, Texas, International Harvester, 1066.
Steve Legrave, Ackerley, Texas, ready to go.
Steve Legrave is getting her fired up. The white smoke going to turn gray, and then black. He's going to let her fly. Again, the distance to beat, 280 feet, 8 inches. He's got to go at it right now. Steve Legrave, the hungry Texan. Steve Legrave pounding the ground, pulling her real close to the line. He had a pretty good fair start down the center of the track and then veered over here right quick, but he's not going to be close to our #1 spot right now. Next up, out of Vandalia, Ohio, the Barnstormer, Jerry Hart. Grand National title back in 1984, and he's come close every single year he's been out there. IH 1066, 4 turbos built by Hypermax, and he gives every indication of turning in another strong year, and he's getting hooked up right now here in Hildreth, Nebraska. To get the good hook, the good bite on the track, take her in a straight line. He is off and running. The Barnstormer. This is the last puller. It's coming down right here. And he do it. Oh, yes, indeed. Jerry Hart, the Barnstormer. Jerry Hart will take the win with 283 feet, 6 inches. What about this track? Looked like you got a pretty good bite, some pretty good traction in it.
I've noticed every track I've been to, there's been a winner. Some people figured out, some don't. I just kind of got lucky this time.
Good enough. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Well, it came down to the last puller here in the 9,500 Super Stock class. Jerry Hart and the Barnstormer does it with a distance of 283 feet and 6 inches, 3 feet more than the nearest competitor. First puller in our 7,200 modified class here at Hildreth, Nebraska will be a Nebraska boy out of Hagler, Nebraska, Craig Clark. He's a good one. Entertained fans here at Hildreth for a number of years. He's got the experience, and we'll see if he can match up with the rest of the field. The field that includes Mike Holden and Dave Banner, Don Finley, and, of course, Gardner Stone. Kicking up now to Cornhusker State as evening is set in. 100-degree temperatures earlier today. It's cooled off very, very nicely, and tonight, the action on the track is the only thing that's hot. Craig Clark gets the green flag, and he is off. He's going to open up the 7,200 modified class here at Hildreth. The thumb comes down on Craig Clark. Kind of went sideways a little bit as we look down the track at the 150 mark, but he has definitely set the field now as our test puller. Next up, Steve Jaske for the great state of Wisconsin out of the Miller High Life pulling team. Modified tractor with a 575 cubic inch Arias power plant. He's ready to rock and roll right here. He's got his eyes set on 247 feet, 8 inches. His dad runs along the sideline. Miller High Life pulling power. Steve Jaske just inches away from the full pull. 291 feet and 2 inches. He's our new leader.
Well, hard getting the sled moving out of the hole, but once we got to about 75 feet, all of a sudden the sled loaded the back of the tractor and she took off pretty good. A lot of tough competition back there. All we can do is hope it holds up.
Scott Tedder out of Marion, Indiana, Mr. Twister. He's got some tough things in front of him. Jaske's mark at 291 and 2 could possibly hold up. We'll just have to see what Mr. Twister can do right here. Scott Tedder is ready. Marion, Indiana, 17 years of age on a big modified. Comes in a couple of times, and he's off to a good start. Hugging a line, a fine pull by Scott Tedder. 17 years of age on a big modified. Mr. Twister.
Well, it was a good run, but I didn't get hooked as quick as I wanted to, and I got down here and it bounced on me.
Looked like it was a little choppy at the start. How do you correct something like that when you're coming down?
Well, it's kind of hard, too. You just kind of feel it out and do the best you can.
David Banner is up next in a tractor he calls the Bandit. Now, David Banner out of LaFontaine, Indiana, and Mr. Chevy set a mark of 2:47 and 8. The leading mark in this class, Steve Jansky, the Miller High Life, 2:91 and 2. The problem these pullers are having here tonight is they're not getting a good hook at the very start. They're not getting a good grab. David Banner gets the green flag from Stan Barton, and we are set right here. 2:91 and 2, the distance to beat. He's got to get a good grab as he comes off. He is set and ready, ties down the tracks, and he's got a good go at it. Banner Brothers in the Bandit. Looks like he gave her a good shot. Got the good grab, and he's off and running. Well, Dave, coming out that time, it looked like the grab was still a little tough off the start, but a pretty good run.
Yeah, my motors just aren't running tonight. You know, I think it's the air out here. This is as far as west I've been for a long time, and I just don't think I'm getting my fuel right to my horsepower, so that's as good as I can do tonight.
Well, that's all anyone can ask is the best, and you're one of the greatest. Mike Holden up next with 4 Allisons. Oh, that's such sweet music to tractor pullers' ears. Marietta, Ohio is where Mike Holden makes his home. Sweet music right here in a Dusty Diamond. He is off. 2:91 and 2, the distance to beat. Those Allisons having a tough time, held the line pretty well, and then started coming off to one of the sides right there in a Dusty Diamond. Mike Holden out of Marietta, Ohio. Moving on to the track here at Hildreth, Nebraska. This is one machine to behold. The General Stage 4. A tractor powered by 4 turbine engines to run in this class, 12,000 horsepower. And this is going to be one thing to behold right here. Gardner Stone, the General, is cleared for takeoff here in Hildreth, Nebraska. One of the great highlights of the Copenhagen Skull pulling circuit, the General Stage 4. The General goes full pull.
Well, it just felt real good. We knew if we could get hooked in on this track, we could probably get it out. We had one tire just at the end blow loose, but it just got us through.
That seemed to have been part of the problem that pullers have had all night, is getting a good grip on this. What about the first couple of feet?
Well, the sled is starting real hard, and it's very, very soft at the starting line, and you got to really concentrate to get this thing under motion. And then once you do, then you got a couple of hard spots down here, and try to bounce your way through them. If you can get through that, you might get it out.
Next up, the final competitor in this modified class out of Ashton, Wisconsin, running 5 Ariuses, David Walsh. David Walsh has got to have a full pull in order to beat Gardner Stone, or at least force him in to a pull-off here in Hildreth, Nebraska. He's just about ready to go here. Again, the full pull established by Gardner Stone. David Walsh is off right now in the cleft for a full pull. The Irish challenge just comes up a little bit short. That will give, ladies and gentlemen, Gardner Stone, the General, the victory here tonight at Hildreth, Nebraska. The victor, the General in the modified class, and we talked about it a little while ago, but Gardner, kind of tough for people getting a grab on tonight's track.
Yeah, the track is real tricky. It's real hard to get under motion, and once you're under motion, like we blew loose at the other end, once the sled hits you, then you can't keep gripped into it. It just sucks the power right out and the tire blew loose.
That's got to be quite a ride.
It is. It's the closest. I used to run a Mini. That's how I started tractor pulling. This is the closest thing to a Mini ride you ever get on. You have to, the tires will blow loose on this thing just at any given time, and it's a thrill. It really is.
And that's going to wrap it up from Hildreth, Nebraska. The side of the modified class, Gardner Stone wraps up the victory. On behalf of Budweiser and Pepsi, our sponsors tonight, it's been a great night. I'm Doc Riley for the Copenhagen Skull Pulling Circuit. We'll talk to you next week.
When truck and tractor pulling all began, it was a fantasy. From the farm tractors to the multi-engine powerhouse, never has pulling been so competitive as on the Grand National level. Come to an NTPA Copenhagen Skull Pulling Circuit event and witness competition like you've never seen before. Joining us at an NTPA Grand National event guarantees you action-packed pulling with some of the biggest names in the sport. Look for the next NTPA sanctioned pull near you.